So let's start with why data science emerged. Okay. So here we can see two pictures, and these are actually the storage in 1956 versus the storage device in 2013. So we can clearly see that it's a hand comparison, and how heavy was the device, 5 MB device, just 5 MB device in 1956, and it became easy to store data as the time grew. So today we know that storing like so much amount of data is so simple, like we can carry it in our pockets. So yeah, it became easy to store data. Okay, and cost efficient also. Like this device is very cheap than the heavy disk that people used to create earlier. So this is the first point. Like storing data became easy and cost efficient, and that's why nowadays all the companies they store so much amount of data that we have no idea about. So every small details that we do in any website is being stored. So people who are already from the software, they might know that all sort of metrics are stored when we do even a small activity in any website. So yeah, we have a large amount of data in every company that is currently working. Now, this is the cost of 1 TB data of storage. Okay, so you can see that in the blue, cost is decreasing. Okay, and in the orange, we have quantity or volume of data that is being created. Okay, so we can clearly see that quantity of data is increasing at a very high rate, and at the same time, price has dropped for storing 1 TB of data. So these two factors contribute to the large volumes of data that we have today. Now, this was like why data science emerged. Okay, because of course we have a lot of data, and every company want to utilize that data, because even though we can collect the data, but it will be useless use of storage if we don't use that to make our business grow. Okay, so kinds of problem that we face as a data scientist or as a data analyst on a daily basis. So this is one example. Okay, it says, "Hello John, we are introducing a new product. Let's identify the potential customers for strategic marketing." So yes, like previously when there was no data, people used to do all sort of what to say, so heavy marketing. Like they target all sort of audience. Okay, they don't target potential customers. So the potential customers, to identify potential customers, that is the problem statement for data science. Okay, so you must be having some customer data, for example, and let's say you have some user behavior stored. Okay, so for example, I have worked in one of my internship. So the data I worked on was RFM, recency frequency monetary analysis. So recency simply means when was the last, how many days before the last purchase of the user. This is recency. Frequency is how many times user has purchased from our website, and monetary is how much how much money has the user spent on our products. So based on these three behavioral features, I built a customer segmentation framework there. Okay, it was a very simple machine learning model, but in the sound of it, it looks very heavy, like customer segmentation framework. So yeah, but it was very helpful. Like the results were very nice, and it was just an internship, even though, but results were great in that. So yeah, I got the PPO in that, of course. So it was a simple problem statement, but sounds so interesting. Like you have to identify customers, potential customers who might buy your product. Now, suppose you have a very expensive product. So you have the monetary details of your customers. So of course you won't like target those customers who spend less or they frequently buy normal products. Okay, so it's a very what to say, expensive product. So you'll target that sort of customer. Okay, like you will be having a customer base of rich customers. Okay, like you must be having some tags for them. Okay, so you identify these tags using machine learning. Now, second problem statement. We observed a notable increase in service cancellations last month. What strategic actions should we take? So there are times when people, this is called churning problem. Like people are what to say, unsubscribing from our services. They are just leaving our services. So why these customers are leaving? Assuming that it's already done, you have the data. Now it's your job to identify the potential reason why the customer left. This is the first part of analysis. Second part will be for the current customer base, you have to build a machine learning model that will be able to predict which customer is about to leave. Okay, so these are the two things. I'll repeat the two things. First is the customers who are left, you have to identify the potential reason. Okay, and second is you have to build a machine learning model which will in future predict which customer might leave, so that you can make appropriate strategies to just stop them from leaving. Okay, and also the strategies to retain the customer who left. Okay, so this is the second kind of problem you might get. Third, we have received numerous complaints about slow website response due to heavy traffic. Your recommendations. So in this use case, what can we think of? Like, so for example, there was this Flipkart sale recently. Okay, and we know that people have faced a lot of issues with the response time of the site. Okay, like even there were times when people made payments, but a payment was done, and there in the site it was just it didn't show the response. Okay, it was like the order got confirmed next day. Okay, so people get affected by these kinds of website behavior. So the reason was simple. A lot of people, because of sale, a lot of people uh, just went to that website, and the website got crashed. Okay, so what can we do as a data scientist? Okay, so the task here is demand forecasting. Okay, demand forecasting, matlab it's a time series problem where you have potential features like past data, and you have the data for when the sale is, when the holiday is, and all sort of information you have, and you make a machine learning model which is able to predict that when will be the next high demand time. If you are able to predict that, you can inform to your company, okay, there might be a heavy demand in the next month. Okay, so company will be prepared, like they'll have some extra servers to support the website and all sort of things. Okay, so these kinds of problem we face as a data scientist on a daily basis. And nowadays there is a new trend. So of course, after the chat GPT emerged, so the new trend is of course like build a chatbot, build Q&A things for that. Okay, this kinds of things. Okay, so document Q&A, these are very famous nowadays. So these are some new problems that emerged after ChatGPT. So um, any doubts till now, guys?
No.
All good. So just yeah. Okay. So now, what are some important things that we need to learn as a data scientist to become a data scientist? Okay. So these are the four key things that are mostly used. Okay. So first one is programming skills. So I'm assuming that a lot of people here might be from IT sector itself. So this part we can say there's a small check here. Okay. You guys must be knowing some level of programming. And even if you don't know, that's fine. It's not a very difficult thing to learn. So programming skills are very important, especially the programming language that we use most of the time as a data scientist is Python. Some companies they use R. SQL is of course used a lot because it has a different purpose. It is used to communicate with the databases where data is stored. So yeah, these are the three languages that people mostly work on. Okay, you can exclude R. It's not very important, but Python and SQL they are a must to become a data scientist. Then second is statistics and mathematics. So this is actually a very important topic because all the machine learning algorithms they know some level of they include some level of maths. Okay, like you should know what is going on behind the scene. Okay, like they have hyperparameters and all sort of things every model, and you can only play around with hyperparameters when you know the maths or logic behind that. Okay, so mathematics is important, and also you deal with a lot of distribution handling. Let's say you have a data set, you check the distribution of a lot of parameters, and yeah, you should know the methods. Is this a normal distribution? How can I shift that to a normal distribution, and all sort of things. Okay. So that's why statistics and mathematics, they are very important as a data scientist. And of course, probability also. Like, probability is included in this part. Then communication. So most of the time, even though you are able to do your work, but there are times when you might not communicate your work. So this is not just for data science. This is for mostly a lot of fields. But I have seen a lot of coders, especially who become introvert. Okay, but yeah, in data science, it is really important to communicate. Okay, because you also make strategies. You just not analyze the data. Okay, you make strategies, and those strategies you should be able to communicate forward. Okay, so this is the another important thing. And lastly, domain knowledge. So yeah, like of course you can not uh, just proceed with data analysis if you are not familiar with what data you are dealing with. Okay, so this is domain knowledge is very important. Okay, so yeah, because data analysis or data science, this is just a tool that you want to use. Okay, but of course there must be some domain where you are applying your knowledge to. Maybe e-commerce, maybe finance. Okay, so that you should have knowledge, but it's not important. Like if you are financial analyst, it's not necessary that you generally you become an analyst. Okay, not some specific analyst. So whenever you get a data, you go to that domain expert and you just understand what the data is saying. Okay, so it's not important that you should know the very detailed history about this domain and all that stuff, but yeah, in general you should understand the data. That's the main point before jumping into analysis.